What is your number one constraint to growth? That is a question that I ask every company and every person that I meet. My name's Andrew Stotts, and I'm the worst podcast host of My Worst Investment Ever podcast. And I like to turn things upside down. So many times as I teach in my valuation masterclass, we're looking for growth. We're looking for where this company is going to grow and how it's going to grow its profits. But I challenge you sometimes to take time and ask the question, what is the number one constraint to growth for this company? It could be personnel. Maybe unemployment is low and it's hard to find people. It could be competition. It could be many things. But the point is, you got to ask that question. It could be related to capital. It could be related to people. It could be related to operations. There's many different ways. And in the Valuation Masterclass, I teach what I call a constraints to growth framework, where I look at what are the constraints to growth to this company. Now, I'm in my office and in my little studio in beautiful Bangkok, Thailand. And this is where I record all my episodes. In fact, I'm just in the middle of recording today. I've got a couple more that are coming in. And that's my setup. But I think I wanted just to talk about this idea of constraints to growth. So let's go back to the question I asked at the beginning of this video. And that is, what is your number one constraint to growth? It could be you don't get enough sleep. It could be you don't have the knowledge that you need to be able to do that. It could be you don't have the discipline. One of my guests I just interviewed, Weldon Long, talked about consistency and having discipline to do the tough things. What is your number one constraint to growth? I'm talking personal. Look at the people around you. You can probably pretty clearly see their number one constraint to growth. Once you've identified the number one constraint to growth, you have powerful information. My Worst Investment Ever podcast, I interview people about their worst investment ever. And it turns things upside down. Well, I'm going to ask you, if you want to value a company, if you want to invest in a company, or you want to invest in yourself, you need to answer this question: what is the number one constraint to growth? If you can answer that question, now you're ready for the next step, which is, how do we overcome that constraint? So hopefully you know your constraint and you now can be on a journey to start overcoming it. I hope to see you in the Valuation Masterclass Bootcamp, where we learn how to overcome constraints in analyzing companies, and we learn how to assess the constraints to growth in companies that we value. But forget about that boot camp for a minute. Apply this question into your life, and I trust me, you will start to really improve. Have a great day.